everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about John Wick Chapter 4 and its Lionsgate 4K Blu-ray. So we're still playing catch-up for the end of the year, reviewing as many 4K Blu-rays as we can, stuff that I missed throughout the year. So John Wick Chapter 4 is one that I actually didn't get to review. I did do a non-spoiler review here on the channel, so if you want to check that one out, because the movie review portion of this is going to be full-fledged spoilers, so if you want to skip ahead to the 4K Blu-ray review, or to the digital code giveaway, you could do that right now. So John Wick Chapter 4, just like the first three movies, was directed by Chad Stahelski, and this really is his baby. He started out as Keanu Reeves' stunt double for The Matrix way back in 1999 until he eventually rose through the ranks as a second unit director, then as a producer, and then as a director of these movies. And this is all he's really done. You can just feel the passion behind it. Him and Keanu Reeves having a fantastic working relationship. They really understand each other. And you could just see that love poured into these films. And really, the first John Wick movie just came out of nowhere. Keanu Reeves was at a real career low at this point. He wasn't riding the high that was the 1990s and the 2000s for him, and he really needed a hit. And this movie just caught everyone by surprise. I didn't even see this in theaters in 2014. I just remember people talking about the club scene and just the way it was shot and the way it was lit, and I had to see it, and it really just blew me away. And then John Wick Chapters 2 and Chapter 3 were still really, really good movies. I felt like the first half of John Wick Chapter 3 was a great film, and then it really just dropped off for the second half, and I felt like that John Wick Chapter 3, despite being really good, is probably the worst in the franchise. But John Wick Chapter 4 really feels like the concluding chapter of the John Wick franchise, and I really hope that it is. I hope they don't come back for John Wick Chapter 5. It's being rumored to be in development, and they kind of left the door cracked open ever so slightly at the end of this movie in case they want to do another sequel. And for a movie like this that cost $100 million to make, and it ended up making $440 million at the box office in a year where a lot of movies failed at the box office, this movie was still a pretty damn big hit in 2023, so I understand why they would want to make another movie, and I know they're doing a spin-off called Ballerina for 2024, but it just felt like the perfect way to end the John Wick story. All the odds are stacked up against him in this movie. I don't know how we can make the odds bigger with John Wick Chapter 5. Everybody is after him in this movie. The entire high table has put all of their power behind Bill Skarsgård. Kill this guy, and Bill Skarsgård plays a great mustache-twirling villain.
I claim the coup de grace.
Just chewing scenery throughout this entire movie. You know, these movies, they are never really operating in the real world, as you know. It really does feel like a video game to me, the John Wick movies, especially John Wick Chapter 4. The amount of people that die in this movie that I guess just have absolutely no meaning is insane to me. And you know what? We're supposed to buy into that. We're buying into the gun fu, that John Wick is the best of the best. Nobody can stop him. It doesn't matter what you throw at him. And they throw everything at him. He only has a few friends left in the world, and unfortunately, the high table does know that, and they start wiping them out one by one. They even invest in Donnie Yen, who's playing yet another blind assassin in this movie, just like he was in Rogue One, which is incredible that he just has something special about the way he knows how to do these fight scenes. Donnie Yen really does feel like a great counterpart to Keanu Reeves in this movie. Like, he really does feel like they match up well together. They have a couple scenes throughout this movie where they fight each other. Donnie Yen really isn't a villain. He's just forced to do this to protect his daughter, and you just feel that Donnie Yen is such a great actor, and he's such a great action actor. I mean, the way these scenes are choreographed just throughout, I don't know how they do this. This is the kind of movie that the Academy will just never recognize, despite the fact that it is incredibly hard to make a movie like this, especially using a lot of practical effects. Now, on my rewatch, I did notice the CGI in certain scenes, mainly when they're going around that traffic circle in Paris. It's just very, very noticeable that they were using a lot of CGI there, and it just doesn't look great. And then the final scene when we have the duel between Keanu Reeves and Donnie Yen, you know, the sun coming up, you could just tell that that was all done in front of a green screen with CGI, and it doesn't really take you too much out of the movie, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, those moments did kind of take me out just a little bit, but it doesn't hurt the film overall. But I did notice that, and it would have been cooler if they were able to actually, you know, film that in front of a real sunrise. But I understand, you know, doing stunts like that, it's probably easier to put it in a controlled environment, and there were a lot of great set pieces in this. My favorite one is obviously the top-down shot of Keanu Reeves just running through the building with that shotgun that like gives off the flare so we know where he is at all times. And I mean, I love that scene. And to follow that up with the huge stairway scene, which, by the way, just gives me so much anxiety, him trying to get up those stairs, and then he gets almost to the top and then falls back down the entire set of stairs. Well, he lands at one plane in the middle and then gets his ass knocked down the stairs yet again, and he's got 2 to 3 minutes. and we really think he's out of it, but of course Donnie Yen and Mr. Nobody, they end up helping him get to the top of the stairs. And Mr. Nobody, throughout the movie, we kind of knew he was going to end up doing the right thing because, he's got the dog, and that just is an homage to the first John Wick movie. And again, feeling like a video game, that feels like a character from like the Fallout series who has his companion, and his companion just happens to be a German Shepherd in this movie. But that's exactly what his character feels like. It just feels like a character straight out of a video game, and at the very end, he decides to do the right thing. And we kind of felt that from him throughout the entire movie, that he was going to end up doing the right thing, because a lot of people do care about Keanu Reeves, and they feel like, he tried to get out, and he just couldn't stay out, and he's not really a part of this game, and now it feels like all the cards are stacked against him, and he has no shot at winning, and then we finally build up to this fantastic end. And by the way, leading up to the big duel, I love the homage to the Warriors, having the radio DJ, we just see her lips just like in the Warriors.
Now, who's gonna be our big winner?
Like talking about where John Wick is in the city and how everybody is coming against them. It's just like how the Warriors had all the other gangs coming against them as they try to get home. Bill Skarsgård has raised the price to $40 million for him to get to the top of the stairs, and he doesn't believe he's going to. Every hitman in the city is going after him, but he still gets to the top. They still have that final duel, although Bill Skarsgård, because, he's not a real man, decides to let Donnie Yen go in his place, which is his right, and, he's basically saying, if you don't do this, I'll kill your daughter. So Donnie Yen has no choice. We have this great duel scene. We have Clancy Brown doing a great job as well in this movie. He just brings a certain class to the movie. Not that anyone doesn't. Obviously Ian McShane playing Winston is fantastic. We get Lance Reddick in this movie, and I think his final role, and he passed away in this movie too. And it's very, very sad knowing that he passed away in real life just before this movie came out. And then his death scene in this movie, it's even more powerful. I love Ian McShane calling out the arrogance of Bill Skarsgård, like,
you arrogant asshole. He didn't shoot. Consequences.
He's really wounded John Wick at this point. He's like, can you just take me home? And then I love that, he's kind of like unbuckling everything. He's on the stairs, and I really feel like that should be it for John Wick. He got buried next to his wife like he wanted to. A loving husband put on his grave like he wanted to. And it's just a perfect conclusion to John Wick. If you want to make spin-off movies with other people, they kind of set up in the post-credits for a possible Donnie Yen spin-off movie. I would be all into that, because the girl, Akira, is fantastic in this movie. I loved her in this movie. Not that anybody is badly cast in this movie, but I really would love to see her in another film. I thought she was fantastic, and apparently I've never really seen her in anything else, but she's apparently a really big pop star. Lady Gaga's even commented on her and her work, so it's pretty cool to see her do a great job in this movie. I mean, she really is like magnetic. She's got that look to her that could steal a movie, so I would love to see a movie surrounding her. But overall, this really is one of the best films of 2023. I'm really glad I revisited before I made my top 10 4K Blu-rays list and my top 10 movies of 2023, because I kind of feel like it came out earlier in the year, and then we had Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 come out after this movie, and if you compare the two, I think it's kind of night and day. As much as I love Dead Reckoning, and I really do love Dead Reckoning Part 1, John Wick 4 really is the best action film of 2023, and it is one of the best movies of 2023. But enough about that. Let's talk about this Lionsgate 4K Blu-ray. So, here it is, the Lionsgate 4K Blu-ray of John Wick 4, and this actually had numerous special editions. I think it had 2 exclusive steelbooks, it had store exclusives, an Amazon exclusive. I just got the regular old-fashioned standard, mainly because I was able to get it for $10 during a Black Friday sale. Like I said, I'm trying to play catch-up here on the channel and review all the 4K Blu-rays, or at least see all the 4K Blu-rays before I make my top 10 of 2023. And I couldn't do that list without seeing John Wick Chapter 4. The first John Wick and the second John Wick were really 2 of the 4K Blu-rays that really sold me on what the 4K format could be. It was one of the first 4Ks I put in with my new sound system that I still have to this day, and it just blew me away with the rain and that, and how it was just coming down around me because of the amazing Dolby Atmos track. So the John Wick franchise has been benchmarks for the 4K format, and John Wick Chapter 4 is no different. Right out of the gate, the visuals are just stunning. Absolutely incredible, whether it even be on the Blu-ray that's packed in here or on the 4K Blu-ray. You get HDR10, you get Dolby Vision. It's just stunning how well this movie was shot with all the great neon lighting. It really just blows you away, and the Dolby Vision HDR10 are doing such a good job at making it look bright while retaining the deep blacks. The color range is incredible. Even as good as the Blu-ray that's packed in here is, it is still a noticeable upgrade to the 4K. Mainly just because that Dolby Vision and HDR10, and when you compare them, they really are compatible. I didn't see too much of a a difference between HDR10 and Dolby Vision. I would have to look at them side by side to find the littlest and tiniest difference. So whatever route you go, it's no big deal. It's still going to look absolutely gorgeous. I mean, when they're fighting in Japan, the green lighting in the Continental in that scene, which they just shot in an abandoned subway station, is just absolutely incredible. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, and a movie filled with fantastic action sequences. But the way this movie is shot, they were using certain lenses to make everything look big in scope, because a lot of this stuff really is just sets. They just built sets for it. They did a fantastic job with it, and it all just looks so great on the 4K format. I mean, visually absolutely stunning. And before we talk about the audio, let's go inside and look at the packaging. Like I said, I just got the standard packaging, so standard slipcover right here. And you come inside and you get the John Wick 4K and you get the John Wick Blu-ray, each with individual disc design, which is always appreciated. And now your extras are actually going to be on both the Blu-ray and the 4K, so you could just tell that this was a regular Blu-ray disc that you could buy on its own. And they just kind of put it in here because it's got the same exact extras, the same menu system, the same exact Dolby Atmos track, which is also compatible with True HD 7.1. The other audio tracks, there is no difference other than the film itself. On the 4K, you'll have the new 4K with HDR10 and Dolby Vision, and on the Blu-ray, you'll just have the Blu-ray. So even if you're one of those people who unfortunately can't buy the 4K Blu-ray and you could just get the Blu-ray is still pretty damn stacked. It's got a great audio track on it. The visuals are good, but it is a noticeable upgrade to the 4K Blu-ray. But that Atmos track that you do get on the Blu-ray is a great Dolby Atmos track, as it was expected to be. Is it one of the best of 2023? It is. It is. It really is one of the best of the year. It's not the best of the year. I still think Evil Dead Rise might actually be the best Dolby Atmos track of the year, even the best audio track of the year. It really is a phenomenal track, but this is still a great track. I had some minor issues early in the movie where I felt like the dialogue was just mixed a little bit too low, and that might have been by choice because that was the only time while I was watching the film where I actually had to adjust the audio. From that point on, I didn't have an issue at all. Everything was coming in crisp and clear. Obviously, the score is fantastic, fits this movie perfectly. The action sequences, like when we're in the club and it's raining out, or at least, everything's falling down the water-wise, it all just sounds like it's coming at you from every single direction. The bullet shots, sometimes you'll hear it kind of just go across your face. It really is a well-mixed track, and obviously this is the kind of movie that deserves a great Dolby Atmos track. Like I said, the John Wick franchise has been known for its fantastic Dolby Atmos track, and John Wick Chapter 4 is no different. From a technical standpoint, the visuals and the audio are just absolutely perfect. The visuals are some of the best I've seen this year. The audio, like I said, it's up there, but it's not the best I've seen this year. The extras are fantastic. They're all just a bunch of little featurettes, but I really did appreciate them. You could have edited them together, mainly just because the menu system is kind of frustrating, and to get back to that, you have to go to main menu, open this up, and because the menu system is just overly annoying, it's kind of laggy a little bit. I would have liked them to edit that together a little bit. It was kind of frustrating to go through each featurette, one by one, but it still didn't bother me in a sense just because I was so happy that they gave us so many extras. I've complained here on the channel how new releases kind of skip out on the extras, but they didn't really on this one. They really left no stone unturned. Obviously down the line I would like a little bit more, but I feel like that's something we get in the future when the John Wick franchise is completely done. But for a brand new 2023 film with a new 2023 release, it's really appreciated to get this much extras on here. And really, John Wick Chapter 4 is one of those must-own 4K Blu-rays, especially if you want to show off your sound system and your OLED TV. This is the kind of movie that you have to put in to show people like, hey, this is what the 4K format can be. So how would I rate this 4K Blu-ray on a score of 1 to 10? I would definitely give John Wick Chapter 4 a really solid 9.5 out of 10. Just can't give it a 10 out of 10 because it's not the best I've seen this year, but still, it is one of those that you have to own, and if you can get it for under $15, you absolutely stole it. And guys, it's also Friday, and it means it's time for our digital code giveaway. In every single video we do on Friday, we ask 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you have to do is answer 1 in the comment section below, and as long as you do that, you come back to this Monday's video, which is going to be on New Year's Day. We put your name on a magic wheel. We spin that bad boy 2 times. The 2 names it lands on, they have their choice of the digital codes that you've seen on your screen before you today. And I figured, hey, we're talking John Wick. I want to know, what is your favorite action franchise of all time? John Wick is really rising up the ranks, and at the end of the day, it'll probably be in the top 3 action franchises of all time. And then just a real quick question. I want to know from you guys, What franchise do you like more, the John Wick franchise or the Mission Impossible franchise? We had both a Mission Impossible and John Wick movie come out this year. I actually feel like John Wick Chapter 4 is the better of those two films. But as a franchise as a whole, what is your favorite one? Is it John Wick or is it Mission Impossible? Make sure you guys leave those answers. You only got to answer one, but leave those answers in the comment section below. And then don't forget to come back to this Monday's video to see if you are one of our lucky winners. And that's going to do it here for me, guys, on another episode of Let's Talk. And if you want to actually continue to support this channel, the best way to do that is by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video, turning notifications on, because that really does help. But if you want to take your support to the next level and become a channel member, we have friends of the channel. We also have a producers tier that Jason Martin and John Doe Juggalo are in. And we also have a directors tier that Frank Rodriguez and Kevin Kruger are in. And for all of our channel members, also this Monday, we're going to put their names on a magic wheel. We're going to spin that, and the winner will win this Waterworld 4K Blu-ray box set from Arrow Video, which I did review here on the channel. So on Monday's video, we will do that wheel spin as well. But if you can't support us that way, we don't mind at all. We just really appreciate you checking out this video. And we just want you guys to get out there, have a good day, and then after you're done doing all of that, we'll be seeing you around.